Hi, my name's Dan. I work for Change4U as part of Bernardo's and Safer Futures. Today I'm just going to give you a few basic tips to be able to reduce any anger or any tensions during this time of year. There are a lot of sports going on at the moment and it can be easy for things sometimes to go a little bit out of hand when we don't mean them to. The first tip that I'm going to give you is about knowing your limits. So when there's alcohol involved, it's about before you go to an event where there's likely to be alcohol there, just have a think about what are my limits. At what point does my behaviour begin to change, whether it's good or bad? We know that alcohol can have a positive or negative effect and we can't always control that. So if we do a little bit of planning beforehand, that's the best thing to do. The second tip is just to think before you speak. Sometimes our filter can be disengaged, especially when there's alcohol involved. If you're able to actually think about what you want to say before you say it, you're engaging that filter again, and you might end up not saying something you didn't intend to say. So it's important to really think before you speak. Just practice it, it'll work. The third tip is basically to pick your time. So if there's something that's happened that's frustrated you or upset you, it's important to think about, is this the right time to be addressing that? Addressing it at the time, it can be very raw, it can be very emotional, and sometimes it just isn't the best time to do it. So pick your time as well. That's my advice for tip number 3. Tip number 4 is taking time out. So it's actually removing yourself from the situation if things start to get heated or out of control. If you're starting to argue and it's starting to get personal, then that argument is just not productive at all. Especially to take some time out, leave, go away for about 30 minutes to an hour, do some breathing, and then come back. And it's important that in that time that you're not leaving and going to the pub or going for a drive because that's not safe, that you're actually leaving to go for a walk or something like that, coming back, not being out for too long because that can be intimidating. And then if you're able to discuss what happened then discuss it. If not, then leave it for another day. It's really not worth getting into another argument over. Tip number 5 is to look for alternative solutions. Is this actually about the other person or is this actually about me? Is this about that person or is it about what just happened? All of the blame and all the anger might not be nothing to do with the person that you're feeling frustrated towards. It might actually be to do with you. It could be because of work. It could be because of other things going on in your life. It could be many things. So have a think about that. Take a step back, look at the situation, look at yourself and see if there's actually anything else going on. Stick with the I statements. So I feel this way. This is how I experience the situation. Not this is how you make me feel or this is how you made me react in this way. It's important to keep those you statements out of it and stick with the I statements. When you're using you statements, you're causing accusations. When you're using I statements, you're taking accountability for what's happened. You're taking accountability for the emotions that you feel. It's important to do that, to own it. And then it's more easy to negotiate what's going on in the situation. Tip number 7 is breathing techniques. Really simple one. This isn't about doing really elaborate techniques. It can be about just doing your 10 breathing in and out, 10 deep breaths. Just doing that will just reduce the tension. It might not make the whole feeling that you're having go away altogether, but it certainly will reduce it by some extent. So those are my 7 tips for today. If you're finding that anger or your relationship is becoming unhealthy, then it's best to actually reach out to us and refer yourselves to Change4U. We can do an assessment with you and can look at how best we can help. It's best to contact us on our helpline, which is 0300 777 4777, or visit our website at saferfutures.org.uk, and you can make a referral. I hope all is well, and I hope you have a great summer. Thank you.